Hello, welcome to Premier Football Chat. Today we're going to preview the World Cup, which starts today with the host nation Qatar taking on Ecuador. So in this video, I'm just going to do a little prediction video on how I think the World Cup's going to play out. So I'm going to start with the person who I think is going to be the top goal scorer in the tournament. So my prediction for this is going to be Harry Kane. He was a top goal scorer in the last World Cup in Russia, and I think in this World Cup he's going to be England's go-to man, and I personally think that England are going to have a good World Cup. So I think with the likes of Foden, Grealish, Saka feeding him and chances, also James Maddison as well, I think he'll score a few goals. And in his group as well, I think it's a good opportunity to score a few goals because they're playing Wales, USA and Iran. So I think Harry Kane will be a top goal scorer. For me, I think the underachievers in this tournament might be France. I'm going to say France because they've got quite a few injuries, like with the likes of Pogba and Kundu, and Benzema's just had to pull out yesterday, Kante. So yeah, there's quite a few players for France who aren't going to be at this World Cup. So my prediction is that they're going to be the underachievers in this tournament. In terms of the overachievers, I'm going to go with Denmark. So yeah, Denmark had a really good tournament in the Euros, and yeah, they got knocked out against England eventually, but yeah, they did really well, especially what happened with Eriksen, and he's going to be available in this tournament, so he's had a remarkable turnaround since last year at the Euros. So yeah, they've got some really good players, Denmark, as well, so I think they'll have a good tournament. And for me, I think the breakout players, which is basically who I think is going to be the young player of the tournament, I have to say Jude Bellingham. Every time I see Jude Bellingham play, he's amazing. He can just do it all. He's box to box. He's good on the ball. He can get forward. He can break up play. He's just an outstanding player. And sometimes I just forget that he's only 19 years old as well. So for me, I think he's going to have the tournament of his life. And yeah, I think he'll help England do well in this tournament. And also the team who I think is going to win the World Cup, I'll have to go with Argentina. I think Argentina have been outstanding in this tournament and in tournaments before, should I say. So they've done really well in the Copa America, and also in the build-up to this World Cup, they've conceded just one goal in 8 games, and that was against Ecuador in a 1-1. And they're on a very, very, very long unbeaten run. So I have to tip them to win the World Cup. And in terms of getting to the final, I think it's going to be another European team. I'm not sure who, because there's some good teams like Spain, Germany, England. So I'm not quite sure who's going to get there. But the reason why I say a European team is because in the last 21 World Cups, there's been a European team in 19 of them in the final. So I feel like one of the European teams will get to the final based on that alone, on history, and also the leagues in the Europe tend to be quite strong as well. So it'll be a European team who will get to the final, along with Argentina, who I think is going to win the tournament. And also in this tournament, that Messi's got some good backup players like Dybala, Di Maria, De Paul, and they've got a good defence as well. So in the last tournament, in the build-up to it, in 2018, he had to come out of retirement just to get Argentina to the World Cup. And yeah, there wasn't as strong defensively. And also in the one before, when they did make the final in 2014, when they lost to Germany, I thought they did well. They got a bit of luck along the way, but a lot of it was hinging on Messi to play well and dig Argentina out of holes when they scored that late goal against Iran, for example. But in this tournament, Messi's got, like I said, he's got a lot of players to back him up this time, and they've got a more solid defence as well. And this is going to be their last tournament for Lionel Messi, so I think it's going to spur the Argentina players to win the tournament for him. In terms of the Golden Gloves, I think, yeah, I'd have to go with either Martinez or maybe Alisson, because he's the number 1 for Brazil. So I think those two teams don't really concede many goals. They're quite good defensively, so one of those two. So either Martinez for Argentina or Alisson for Brazil will win the Golden Gloves, I think. So yeah, those are my World Cup predictions. Drop a comment if you want and tell me who you think's going to win the World Cup, who you think's going to be the top goal scorer, the overachievers and the underachievers, and who you think's going to be the breakout star. And also, yeah, just tell me how you think it's going to be. Are you excited for it? Yeah, drop a comment below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.